It's these two guys. These two guys. It's these two guys.
Well, hello, everybody. Once again, I'm George Henry.
This is Larry Richardson.
And we are
These Two Guys.
Yeah. You know, what's coming up here, and we want to get everybody excited about this, because I'm kind of excited about it.
I'm super excited.
At the end of March, we are going to be heading down to Puerto Morelos in Mexico, in Quintana Roo, and we are going to do some of our shows down there while we're, quote, on vacation.
Yeah, that rolled off pretty good.
It did, yeah. But anyway, so what's really exciting about that is now we don't know what we're getting ourselves into.
Yeah, everybody's worried now. Actually, you know what? I'm not worried. Yeah, I don't think you're worried.
No, I'm not.
If you look at a map of Mexico and you look at where all the current drama is, which we're going to get into,
Yeah.
where all the chaos and stuff is happening and where we're going, it's literally on the other side of the peninsula.
Well, it'd be like going from here to Dallas, Texas,
Right.
approximately.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's
so
pretty
if something's
far.
happening in Dallas, don't go to Oregon, right?
Right.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure, as I told George, I highly doubt the Mexican government is going to be trying to arrest any other cartel leaders for the
Yeah,
time being.
I think they're done with
I
that
think
for a
they'll put
little
that
while.
on hold just a
I think
bit.
they're done for that for a while. So it was really interesting, and a friend of mine, Juan, I want to say his last name is Hermosillo. I'd have to look up that. But Deb and I met Juan down in Cancun a couple of years ago, and we kind of befriended him, you know. And he doesn't speak much English. We don't speak a whole lot of Spanish. We do a little bit. But we were able to communicate while we were there, you know, fairly well. And he became our friends on Facebook, so he's kept in touch. Now, he lives a little more interior Mexico, and he posted a meme today that had, I think, 9 police officers on it. And I'm guessing, I couldn't understand all the Spanish he was writing, but I'm guessing they represent some of the folks that may have been killed during this incident that happened here.
Oh, wow.
Because it was just so timely with what was coming up. I couldn't think of what else it could be. But I noticed that a lot of people all over Mexico, or let me rephrase that. A lot of people in the U.S. that are planning on going to Mexico are considering stopping their vacations because of this incident, even if they're going to Cancun
Right.
in that area like we are.
Right.
The hotel that we're going to is getting so many comments on it, and they're just putting on there, you know, get your news, get your information from trusted sources. Don't get it from social media. If it is accurate, it's going to be sensationalized, you know. So be careful what it is you're watching out there. And one of our friends, you know, Bob Hansen, that passed away,
Yes.
and his wife or girlfriend Susie, she's down there now in Cancun. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, I have a friend that you guys can check him out. It's Broken Head Productions. His name is Vahid. He's the guy that got me into drones, actually, and guns. Thank you, Vahid. So he actually did a little video of some of the stuff that he was seeing while he was down there, and he's actually right in the thick of it. And he said, yeah, it was a couple of nights of chaos, whatever. It burned out some cars, and they just kind of like moved on.
I'll tell you what, let's just watch a little bit of this together, and let's see what he saw down there in Puerto Vallarta.
This is your combat correspondent, Mr. Moore, in the field. I am in actual Puerto Vallarta, where they was spike in some violent activity from the cartels. This was probably because of the raid that the Mexican government did against the leader of the Jalisco cartel. You can see they had burnt out cars. And they have burnt out trucks to block thoroughfares. Now, burning a car makes a whole lot of smoke and a whole lot of hubbub, but that's all it is. It burns up and then it's gone. So it seems bigger than it is, but all it is a burnt up car, burnt up husk, and that's all it is. Bunch of trash that needs to be removed. However, it does have a dramatic effect. Here what we have is a truck that was set up to be a produce delivery, either to a market or a restaurant. For whatever the case, you can still see the remains of eggs that have been hard boiled or cooked hard. See, those are the eggs, onions, cebollas, pepinos, I mean cucumbers. Got to remember this is my English audience I'm talking to. Some canned goods that had exploded from the heat. And yeah, that is it. You can see the tires have melted off. There's probably more eggs on the ground right there. And those ribbons are the metal cables, the steel cables you see in the tires, but there's no more rubber, so all you see is steel cables. As you can see, the crews here have been working all day to get these burnt out husks of cars off the road so traffic is flowing, commerce can flow, people can get from point A to point B, and just get the unsightly mess of burnt out cars off the streets. All right, this is a combat correspondent, Mr. Moore, coming here. This is the old printing station. I believe it was a Kiosco. You can see on the little trailer it says Kiosco. This is one of the many Kioscos that have been burnt down. Kiosco, Oxo, etc. have been burnt down because retaliation for the cartel leader's death or capture, etc., or both, whichever. But they were careful not to blow up the gas station. Gas station pumps are still safe. Convenience store, not so safe. I am actually at the beach, La Playa. There's no signs of any of the chaos from the last couple of days. You'll see gringos, you'll see the local gente. I mean, you'll see tourists and local people here. And yeah, this is pretty nice place. Another day in paradise, just saying.
So that's what the situation looks like where he's at down there in Puerto Vallarta. One of the things that made me nervous about whether this would be a negative against American tourism is the fact that all the news medias were reporting that they were using American intelligence to find this guy.
Right.
So that's how they located him, through American intelligence. Like, they gave the Mexican government, where to go.
And they're afraid there's going to be retaliation against Americans because of that.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know what you know about how the cartel works, but of course I'm used to Clear and Present Danger, where the one cartel boss is trying to knock off the other cartel boss, and when they do, then he takes over. And so I wonder in this, when a head of a cartel is gone like that, who is actually doing the fighting for him? Because you would think there would be a vacuum.
Yeah.
At that point.
It's all speculative at this point. I would assume the same thing. We're kind of, tongue in cheek talking about that yesterday. I said, all I can imagine is if this guy's gone, it's not like he's in jail, because he can probably still run the organization from prison or whatever, but he's gone. So the idea is that, whoever's now taking over is probably sending all of his loyalists out to fight in hopes maybe they disappear, so that way he gets a clean slate, whoever's taking over, but I have no idea who's in charge or how they're directing this, or if it's just a lot of loyal soldiers.
Well, one of the guys I work with, he was talking about, the violence is increasing and a lot of people are dying down there, and because of this, and everybody's and they're killing everybody and all this stuff. And I just calmly said to him, I said, this has been going down just south of the border in Juarez and communities like that for decades.
Decades, right.
This is nothing new. Now, the fact that they killed a cartel boss, because it seems to me, and the reports that I remember growing up and over the years, because I lived 25 minutes from the border, was that the police didn't want to get involved.
No.
Because the cartel members knew the police and knew their families, right. And they knew their families would be in danger if the police got involved. So the police would let things slide.
Right.
And so I don't know, of course, that's along the border edge there, down in Juarez, just down south of El Paso, and some of the other border towns down there on the Texas border. Arizona, at least to my memory growing up, Sassabee and Nogales and that weren't that major of a drug entrance.
Like a hub, yeah.
For a hub. Now they would go down in Bisbee, down there in Arizona, and they found, I remember about a decade ago, they found this really beautiful home on the American side, Mexican style.
Yeah.
Underneath the garage. The garage was
that.
A concrete garage,
Yeah.
and it lifted up, and then the tunnel went down and that. And, I'm sure they were bringing drugs across, but they were also bringing illegals across and stuff like that. So, while this is terrible that this is happening, it's not something that just started happening.
No. Well, I mean, to this extent, with the killing of cartel leaders, a little bit different, I think. Just
Well,
because,
that aspect is, but I mean,
but the cartels and their operations and stuff, no, that's nothing. I mean, even in Cabo, one time we were out there and we were doing one of those little excursions. We take the 4x4 out into the desert, and our tour guide straight up said, hey, this is cartel territory. Like, they allow this, and he said, honestly, it's probably one of the safest places you can be, because they don't want to mess with American tourists. They don't want the American government down there,
kiddies need their drugs.
Right. So they don't. Yeah. So this,
Well,
I
and
mean, this is a
two,
little different.
one of the things, like with Puerto Morelos, where we're going, it's not a really huge town.
No.
It's a small town. It's a small fishing village. It's got 3 nice resorts adjacent to it. And so it's not like, to me, it doesn't seem like it would be a target for something. Now, it's a big city, is where the trade is, where the stores are, where the help is, where all that stuff is. And I didn't feel any kind of uneasiness any of the times I've ever been to Mexico.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I didn't feel bad. I mean, well, when we were much younger, going to Tijuana, we were kids, but because we didn't know any better.
I never did that.
Oh yeah, we did that. We just drive.
I went to Nogales, but we never I never crossed the border without my parents.
Yeah, I don't think my parents ever knew we went.
They probably never knew you went down there.
No.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
No, it was not a good idea, because they don't card you and stuff in Tijuana when you're out there drinking, especially if you're 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So we are going down there. It's El Cid Resort. What are you looking forward to most? Just relaxation?
Relaxation, the weather, the food, and lots and lots of libations, like some good drinks,
There are a lot of libations, and of course everything is going to be
all inclusive.
all inclusive. So we don't
Little
have to
swim
worry
up
about
bars too.
that. We got a couple of those. Yeah. But even so, there's an adult area where the kids aren't allowed, and so Deb and I spent a lot of time there, and the bar was just like 5 feet from the pool.
Oh, nice.
So you just walk up there,
Excited with that, spending time with you guys, away from work, away from town, and other things that because we've known each other for a while. We see each other. I mean, doing a podcast
Once a week for sure.
Yeah, once a week for sure. And we see each other outside of that. We usually sharing company with other people that we're around,
Right.
so we never really got a chance to just like hang out.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. We're looking forward to that. Once again, things on the Epstein files seem to have, I don't know, not died down, I would say, but they seem to have gotten a back seat again. They're talking about releasing more information. They're talking about unredacting the files. I don't know. Have you heard anything recent on that?
The thing that's blown up on my feed right now is the Ghislaine doppelganger.
The doppelganger?
The doppelganger.
I saw that today.
That is insanely crazy. The lazy eye, everything looks far more like her than the person that they were interviewing, right?
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of frustration. In UK, there's been 2 arrests so far, right? Prince Andrews, who's no longer Prince Andrew, and then some other person that also got picked up from knowledge.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Again, it's a feed. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. But I did see there was a second arrest in regards to Epstein files in the UK. Apparently, I don't know if it's a lawyer or somebody that worked with Andrews or whatever the deal was, but something related to them. But no arrest here.
I was listening to something the other day, and it was talking about how Prince Andrew watched while Ghislaine tortured a 6-year-old.
Oh man!
And I'm like, what the? I mean, this is effing ridiculous.
Rich and powerful people. If you didn't fear them before, you should fear them now. At least be a little concerned about them, because I think the reality is just gone. They're in a different zone. I mean, who could do that? Who could?
What really bums me out is that people are allowed to get away with evil, and there's no. Gosh, I don't want to say this because I don't want to upset some of my friends who are very religious, but it just seems to me like Neil deGrasse Tyson said, either he's not all powerful, or he's not all good.
Yeah.
And that's what he said about God, about what he thinks. Because there's all this sickness, there's all this death, there's this evil in this world, and yet it's allowed to continue. It makes me it breaks my heart, is what it does, that we don't have a way to, there's no checks and balances, seems like, anymore.
No. And then they got the rumor, I guess they're going to start investigating where the ranch he had in, is it Arizona, that they suspect the 2 bodies have been buried. You've heard that one, right?
I did not hear that one.
Yeah, apparently there's somebody that came forth and mentioned that there were 2 bodies on a ranch that Epstein had owned, and he had since sold the house. I guess it sold it. It was sold through his estate after he got arrested the first time, or But since then it's got a new owner. But supposedly there's 2 bodies buried there, so that's kind of a focus too that I think that they're looking at to see what's going on with that. But again, at this point, they're just talking. Everybody's just talking. There's a speculation that these.
But I still think I still think we're not going to get. I saw somebody today talking about this, and he said this is just like the Kennedy assassination. We're never going to know anything. We're never going to really know these names of these people, these perpetrators. We're not going to find out about it. It's going to go away. Something else is going to come up to distract people from it, and that's going to be it.
I think a lot of people were hoping for one thing, or seeing, a possibility of, like, for example, Trump's name. They were looking for that smoking gun. And then I think with this last release, there was that 2007 document where apparently he was the one who tried to bring the FBI in, saying that, look at Epstein, this guy's into some crooked shit or whatever. And I think that kind of took a lot of air out of people's cells.
But I told you my idea about that. He's just pointing the finger in a different direction.
Away from him. Yeah. And
that's an opinion, by the way. That's not a fact. I mean, I just say that's how I feel about it.
Out of all the names that are mentioned, all the emails, all the stuff that people are reading, it seems like there is still no. I mean, towards anyone, there's still no smoking gun. There's mentions of things that happens between, Bill Gates was an email to himself. Apparently, it wasn't an email he sent out. It was an email to himself, which is kind of funny. But there's no smoking guns that said that any of these guys did anything. The pictures.
Yeah, but what do you think? I mean, we haven't seen the unredacted files. You mean to tell me that you don't think there's anything in these redacted files? If that's the case, why not unredact them?
I think there's something in there that would be a smoking gun for certain people. I don't think it's the people that we think they are. I think obviously rich and powerful folks that are in there, right? But
well, it's just like, for example, there was a photo of Bill Clinton and Ghislaine Maxwell and a blacked out picture
in the hot
of a
tub.
girl. No, in a swimming pool.
Oh,
This was in a swimming pool, right? I've been in the swimming pool with kids before.
Right.
That doesn't make me a pedophile.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying that, but it's the same thing when when the media comes out and they say how many times someone's name was mentioned. What does that mean to be mentioned? I mean, like, we had dinner together, mentioned, or I saw this person on in a news spread or whatever, that's mentioned. So that, what does mention mean? Like, we need to see something that says this person did this to that person, and they need to be arrested. They need to be prosecuted. And that's what I think, from what everything has been released, we're not seeing any of that.
Right. And again, you take an instance of 2 people that know each other. I mean, just you and me. You and I know each other. We've had conversations back and forth. We send emails back and forth. We send text messages. We send all this stuff back and forth. If 5 years from now I get arrested for something, they're going to go, well, Larry, you knew him. You must have known.
Right.
You must have known what was going on.
Right.
You must have known what was happening.
I mean, everybody knew that. I mean, the guy dealt with money. Who doesn't deal with somebody who deals with money or makes people more money?
Yeah.
Right. So, But we need a smoking gun. And again, I really feel bad for the victims, because even like watching that Pam Bondi fiasco, like I felt bad for them sitting right behind her, and at least even acknowledging the fact that there was a goof would have garnered a little bit more respect than just kind of like, you're gonna ask me about Epstein files, and I'm gonna talk to you about contributions that you got from something that doesn't even relate to anything that
Right.
we're talking about. And it didn't roll well with me at all. And
I'll tell you though, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more Republicans jump ship. I just saw a video today where a Republican congressman from Tennessee was talking about this mess, and that everybody in the justice system, everybody in Trump's Department of Justice needs to be canned. They need to start all over again. He says he is not happy with it. And right behind him is his wall of guns. He's from Tennessee, his wall of guns back there. And maybe he's concerned about getting reelected. I don't know. But it seems to me like you're seeing more names. There was another document with 6 Republican senators' names on it that came out yesterday, talking about how, these need to be released, these need to be unredacted and stuff like that. So I don't know. Looks like an interesting next few months if we get to see anything.
If we get to see anything, I still don't think that, again, those poor victims they're not going to see the justice that they deserve. I think the people who are, be it protected now, be it protected from the previous administration, be it protected from when Trump was in office in 2019 when he got arrested, there's enough hands that touch those files.
Well, you know what else is interesting too, and I think this needs to be represented, is you talked about the victims behind Pam Bondi during that Senate hearing or the congressional hearing. That's just a portion of the people
there's thousands
that were trafficked.
Yeah.
That's just a very small, tiny portion of the victims that are involved in this.
Because it wasn't just the island. That was before the island. It was, probably in New York.
There was a girl in New York who talked about, she was just on 60 Minutes. Was it 60 Minutes the other day? Mm-hmm. She was talking about that, and they were asking her about why you never came forward. And she goes, I was scared. Yeah. She would go there. She would massage Jeffrey Epstein. He would masturbate, and then she'd clean the mess up. And then the next time, one time he got there and he raped her, and she never went back after that, because up till then she was like, well, I don't know, is this normal? Is this not? She didn't know. She's 14 years old.
Yeah, a kid.
And then you're supposed to be with these people that you trust, and they're leading you down this dark path. But she said after that, she had no contact with them after that whatsoever. In fact, she even quit her school. She got a full ride scholarship when, to this special, high school, and then for art or something like that. And she left that. Got out of there because she lived right, not 2 blocks from where his mansion
was.
So,
people out there do a lot of evil, and we're never gonna get rid of that completely. But I think,
but when it's acceptable from the people in power, or the people with power, because. Like somebody else, I think it was the same representative in Tennessee today. He said, if you think the president's got all the power, you don't know what's going on.
No.
There are people with more money, with more power, influencing over that than we realize.
Yep.
And so,
I always say there's not so much as kings, there's king makers. Those are the ones you got to be careful of. And I'm pretty sure that Trump, Biden, Obama, Clinton's, there's always still a kingmaker. There's someone to put them there.
Now, I will say, though, that Trump's a little bit different in that Trump had people in his circle, but he seemed like he was taking the lead, didn't it? I mean, did it seem like he had anybody behind him? Because obviously he wouldn't have said half the things he said if he had somebody reining him in.
You talking about like with Epstein files?
No, I'm talking about his rise to power. His rise to the presidency.
My thoughts on Trump is because I think I watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes of The Apprentice. I didn't like his personality. I thought, but I did growing up, urban and rap stars and stuff. I seen him all the time because he was always there. he did a dance number on Soul Train. You know, I mean, he's.
Oh, I got to see that.
Oh yeah. Mullet and
Same
everything.
dance he's doing now?
No, he was trying to do the WAP.
Oh, okay.
I think it was before the WAP was the WAP, but it looks like it's the WAP. You know, and I see him in all these rap videos. I see him, you know, just all this time. I see him popping up, Trump this, Trump that, Trump Tower. And I remember him being somebody who black people idolized because the guy just represented money. You know, and you grew up in the projects. What are you going to idolize? Money, right? So that's what we saw as Trump coming up. But as I got older, I kind of really didn't like the guy. But when I knew that he was running for president, and I remember watching that God, I can't remember what it was. Somebody had made a joke about Trump saying, "Oh, I thought he was running as a joke because I couldn't see him running as a president." And the camera pans to like a profile of Trump, and everybody else is laughing, and he just looks completely serious at the guy on stage. Most of you guys know what that is, who that was. And I just thought, honestly, I said, there's somebody who probably is not going to take orders from somebody else. That's the only thing I really thought about him. And I couldn't see him as somebody who could be bought.
Yeah.
And when all
he's the buyer.
he's probably the more the buyer.
He's the buyer.
And when I see everybody fighting against letting him run in office, I thought, in my mind, I was like, they must be fighting him because they know that he can't be bought. And that's the way I saw the politics early on. This was before I really, before I started really getting into, figuring out what's what and who's who. And
well, he's literally our first social media president. He became elected because of social media.
Yeah.
Because just being on The Apprentice, being in all that environment, I should say celebrity more so than social media.
Yeah.
But still, the celebrity led to the social media, and he knew how to use social media.
He followed the right path during his especially his 2024 election. He talked to the right people. He made himself more available, and he didn't stop with just friendly outlets. And I think that was one of the problems with the Democrats, even with Joe and with Kamala, is they only talk to friendly media. They got a lot of softball questions. Trump went in, he got yelled at, he got ridiculed, but he never stopped. He never avoided him. Yeah, he never avoided him. He tried to make himself more available, and I think that helped. And then there was apparently Kamala tried to combat the whole Joe Rogan thing by doing a podcast with another person who was more liberal, and that podcast got canned. And that guy has since come out and said that it was just so bad, even her people were like, don't air it, And they tried to do, tried fire with fire, but
she should have gone on Joe Rogan.
They asked. They asked.
Said no.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, they gave Joe Rogan a list of questions. They were telling Joe, and Joe Rogan's like, no, this is my show. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. And that wasn't the way they really wanted it to go. And I guess they just never called him back. And I missed the whole story there, and I might be off on how it ended. But he was approached. There were conversations. They just never came to fruition.
But the 4 years when Biden was in office, we, in my opinion, we had no leadership.
No, he was never available.
But he was not Obama.
Yeah.
He was not Bush.
No.
Bush and Obama were both leaders. Now, I wasn't 100% a liker of Bush. I appreciate him more now than I did when he was in office.
Same.
Now seeing what
he was a joke when
what he had to deal with. Yeah, he wasn't really a joke. I just didn't trust him when he was in office. I didn't, I went down the conspiracy theory road of the 9/11 thing. Those weren't the planes. They weren't really American airline planes. I did that. I watched all those videos and stuff. But, when it came down to it, it's like, it doesn't matter who did it. The fact that it was done, there's nothing to do. But so I didn't really trust him because of that. Like when they whispered in his ear about the towers going down, he was as calm as can be. I know he was like, and he was reading the kids.
Yeah.
He didn't really get overly excited about that.
Kids, I gotta go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. The duck dies in the end.
Yeah. There's an emergency and we gotta go. It was like no sense of urgency.
Yeah.
But I appreciate him more now than I did then. And I can't say that I liked everything Obama did, but Obama had a lot of guts taking on the establishment, in my opinion. But
Yeah, I don't really remember much about Obama. I just remember most of the healthcare thing, and I remember how that was kind of like, hey, this is what I want to do. Nope. Okay, how about this? Nope. How about that? Nope. And then we ended up getting what we got. And I knew that was a problem even back then without completely understanding everything. I was like, it just doesn't seem right.
do you think we would have gotten better health care if everybody had worked together a little bit more? I mean, because I know he put out a couple different versions.
Yeah, he wanted socialized healthcare, kind of like how they have in Europe and Canada and stuff, right? But if you
like
talk
what
to
Bernie wants,
right, but if you talk to people in Canada, they'd say it sucks. Most people I talk when we were up there in Canada just a couple of months ago, it was like, God, it sucks. It's like you got to wait, and then even when you get the care,
but see, they're comparing it to what they like, what they know.
what they know.
If they came down here, they might love their health care.
Yeah, exactly. That's definitely something.
That's the opposite of that.
I wouldn't experience, and you can't even see a doctor unless you're a citizen. I think in Canada, right? Even if you're in a visa, I think they have like, if you're going there to visit, you can't.
Even in an emergency.
I don't think so. I think you have to pay out of pocket.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, but I mean, they would see you.
They would still see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not getting any socialized health care where you're just like, hey, sign your name.
I wonder if your American health care would cover you they do in other countries, don't
I
they?
do not want to find out.
Don't want to find out.
Do not want to find out.
Let's not find out next month.
No, definitely not.
No,
I don't know. I know in the Philippines, I know that you can just, you just pay cash. They'll take cash. They'll take payments. They'll take anything.
So speaking about paying cash, I went down a rabbit hole yesterday, and I did a Chat GPT search. I said, what are the cheapest places to live on the Mediterranean? What are the cheapest places to live in Central America? And it picked out, Albania and a couple places like that, and and then it picked out some Central American places. And do you know $1,000 a month in Nicaragua on the ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will pay your rent, pay your insurance, pay your food and utilities. $1,000
Oh,
a
I'm not
month.
surprised.
And all you have to do to live down there is have at least $600 a month in recurring income.
Yeah.
So your Social Security, you could live down in a place like that.
I think Philippines is kind of the same.
Is it?
Yeah, I think Philippines. And like I said, I met that one guy, the mechanic, that got laid off from oh my God, I can't remember what airline. It was United Airlines. I guess they were laying off mechanics there, and he just stayed. He never left. He retired early, and
Now there is some government instability in these places,
oh yeah, yes.
so you have to know
You have to
that.
pick and choose wisely if
Yeah.
you're gonna.
But I mean, still thinking. I'm thinking. Hey, I could retire in one of those places. And kick back, do podcasting from my ocean view.
And what is? Oh no, Costa Rica's the one that doesn't have an army. Nicaragua has an army.
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica does not have an army.
But you know Lou Morales?
No.
He's a dentist. He rides motorcycles with us. Likes to play pool too.
I heard the name mentioned before. But I never
Anyway,
heard
he's an Elk member. He was down there 3 months. His rent for 3 months was $1,100 on the ocean.
Wow.
I mean, he took a video for me and showed me going out through the galleyway or past the kitchen, and then there's the ocean right there.
See.
About 100 feet of beach, from his room to the ocean, as wide as you can imagine, and $1,000 a month. That was
Jesus.
utilities and everything.
Yeah. Some of these third world countries are, not too bad, not too shabby. I mean, as long as you pick the right spot.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as a safe place.
No, I mean, even
Right.
America.
Yeah. I mean, and the funny thing is a lot of people forget that, I lived in Natomas, right? In the Sacramento area. Yeah. At South Natomas, you had North Natomas. North Natomas was all brand new. You had newer houses, you had, higher income. The South Natomas was kind of more, run down or whatever. Well, when the people from South Natomas want to steal something, they come to North Natomas. So you're not really safe just because it's newer and shiny.
Yeah.
It actually puts more of a target on your back more often than not.
Well, I got a story for you. When my ex-wife and I moved to Arizona, we stayed for a little while. My mom moved out and rented a house in Green Valley, so we lived in that house. She decided she wanted to come back home, so we went looking for a place to rent. We rented in South Tucson, which South Tucson is a lower income area, right? I mean, yeah, there were wrought iron gates on your windows and everything like that, protect that. But I felt safer in that neighborhood because the cholos and everybody in that neighborhood, they didn't steal
From inside.
from their own.
Nope.
They didn't steal from their own neighborhood.
Nope.
So if you were living in there, you were protected.
Yeah. That's how. Why is it always the south side? Seems like it's always the worst.
I
just
don't
thought
know.
about that.
I don't know because everything starts south and they all
Works
move
its way
north,
north,
and
yeah.
they move north. And get better. I
That
don't
is
know
kind
why
of
that
funny. I just thinking about that. South is always seems a little worse than north.
Yeah,
And I'm not
yeah.
saying that about the border either. So I'm just talking about like general
Well,
neighborhoods.
Yeah, junky neighborhoods.
Yeah, just neighborhoods. But yeah, no, that's yeah. I don't know. I think that when it comes to presidents, I wish Biden was a little bit more accessible. I do.
Yeah.
I wish he was a little bit more accessible. I was it Karen Pierre KJ. They call her Binder, I guess, on the conservative circuit. She's known as Binder because she always had that binder with the little Post-its in there. I couldn't stand listening to her talk.
Yeah.
Just nothing has to do with her nationality or race or sexual orientation. It's just her in general. I feel like she'd be the type of person that you couldn't trust anything she said. I never trust anything she said. Most of these White House correspondents, you kind of like, they're reading what they're supposed to read.
Yeah.
But her responses was, to me, it always puts me in mind of this kind of like little joke, this little comedy skit would be like, whoever she's with in a relationship would come home and she's in bed with the other person, she's
She pulls the
cheating.
binder out.
And then they're like, "Hey, I caught you cheating." She says, "No, you're not seeing what you thought you saw." And just literally gets the person to turn around and go, "Oh, maybe I didn't see it."
I was watching a show called The Night Agent last night, and one of the scenes was the guy who speaks for the president, his press secretary, was doing a speech and was named one of the it's coming to my mind Secret Service agents' names, right? And you're not supposed to do that;
Say
it's
that,
out of
right.
protocol. But it also happened to be his fiance.
Oh my God!
And she's like, when they come out of there, she's like, "What are you doing?" Well, the president told me to do it. He thought it would be good, to have some to let people know there's a hero in the way. She goes, you told this, that was a lie. You told this, that was a lie. You told this, that was a lie. And he goes, "I do not lie. I spin." And I'm like, that's exactly what's going on.
It's a spin.
It's spin. It's not a lie.
That is awesome. I like that show. It's
Yeah.
actually a pretty good show.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the new season yet.
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
Is it good?
Yeah, we're in episode 7, I think, already.
We just went through the whole Knights of the Seventh Kingdom, Game of Thrones.
Oh, I've never seen an episode of Game of Thrones.
Oh my goodness! What?
Never seen one episode.
Yeah. I can't say you're really missing anything because it was a great show until it ended. The end was terrible.
Well, I heard that it was like Seinfeld.
Yeah. Actually, Seinfeld's ending was a lot better than.
I actually
Game of
like
Thrones.
Seinfeld's ending. A lot of people didn't, but as a true blue fan, I thought it was perfect. I thought
They all deserve to be in jail.
Yeah.
I thought it was perfect. If
Yeah,
you haven't seen it, so I'm sorry I ruined it for you, but that's your fault for not watching it.
That's right. Yeah. I really don't have a whole lot else to go over. I mean, it's pretty much just wanted to catch up on a few things that were going on out there, and
Yeah, we got the Epstein things. We got and I have to be fair to someone who you like and I don't like, but I have
Oh,
to
yeah,
be fair
Governor.
to him.
Gavin?
Governor Newsom.
yeah,
That whole thing about the SAT scores, I think he got a bum rap on that.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to hate me for this. And if you know me, you know I don't like this guy at all.
No.
I do not like Gavin Newsom. But if you haven't seen, apparently he was doing this press talk, and he was talking to the host, who's an African American, and he mentioned something about his score being SAT scores being 960, and he says, "You don't want to offend anybody if you have a 940," and I get the whole trying to be relative and relate to people, but I think a lot of people took it as to if he was just communicating to the host and not the audience. And if it was just the host, then yes, it kind of comes off as saying, "Yeah, well, you're dumb, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to relate. I want you to relate to me." But if he's talking to the audience, which from what I've seen, they weren't all black, and I don't know exactly where this place was located. And I think it was Atlanta, which Atlanta's, I guess most areas are primarily black, but I don't know if the audience was. And until we can see that, I think he got a bum rap. But at the same time, I kind of laugh at it because if you look at it on the surface, it looks like he's basically saying that, you guys are dumb. And I'm here for you, and it did not come off right. But I
At least he didn't say you people.
No, he didn't. But have you seen the memes that has followed? Like there's one
I've
with
seen a couple of them. Yeah.
with Kevin Hart braiding his hair from the Get Hard movie, and there's one that I saw, and oh my God, I laughed so hard I started crying. It's a young Gavin Newsom at night or right when it starts to get dark, and he's in a cotton field. He's picking cotton, and he has some overalls that is FUBU. You're familiar with FUBU brand,
Yeah,
right?
For you, by you.
For us, by us.
For us, by us.
Yeah,
that's right.
and I just saw that, and I just it's hilarious. But
It is hilarious.
I think he's getting a bum rap on that. I think he speaks sometimes, and it's cringeworthy, and I think it makes for great satire. But I'm going to actually go out and not defend him, but I think that people just need to chill down a little bit.
I had a great FUBU shirt back in the day that was really. I mean, it was so great, man. It was the material was really nice cotton, stiff cotton, and I loved wearing it. I don't know what happened to it. I think my ex-wife threw it away.
She probably saved your life. You up in the wrong place.
I don't know. Yeah, I suppose that could be, but I've always tried to get along with everybody. I mean, I think people maybe, unless they're off their rockers, look at intent, don't they? Do people look at intent, or is it automatically if you're wearing something off-brand, you're automatically pegged?
So it depends.
Depends on what neighborhood you're in.
Yeah, so growing up in Hunters Point, I remember one time, and
I wouldn't wear red in a blue neighborhood.
No, you wouldn't wear red and blue. You wouldn't
I wouldn't
wear
wear
green
blue or red neighborhood.
in North Richmond. You wouldn't wear green, and some parts of San Francisco, like in the project, especially in the late '90s and late '80s, early '90s when I was there. I remember just a white guy getting off the bus, and he just happened to be young enough to look like he could be a cop. They shot him. No questions asked. No one said anything. They just shot the guy getting
Really?
off the 54 Fulton bus.
Killed him?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. You shot him right there. As soon as he got off the bus, he's a cop. Shot him. So yeah, I mean, there's some places that you would think that.
Yeah.
But it just takes one unhinged individual.
right.
to do
Yeah.
something.
All right. Well,
So she probably saved your life.
probably.
Just so you know.
It's a great shirt, though, man. I love that shirt. Love that shirt. All right. Well, I got nothing else.
I didn't either.
Right.
So again, merchandise.
Merchandise.
These2guys.com. Comment, subscribe, email, like. We did get a comment from not the last video, but the video before.
Yeah.
It was our pre-video.
Yeah, it was our just a little. Yeah.
Before the podcast.
Yeah, we were just goofing.
Yeah.
And someone's like, "That's the worst podcast I've ever seen." I'm like, dude, come on now.
Which is hilarious because I looked the guy up and I looked at his videos, and it's like I'm not going to rat on you because of that, and I'm pretty sure you're probably watching. And we welcome those comments. I mean, it was yeah, but still.
But he had 10 videos.
No, one actually.
One video.
One
10,
video.
10 viewers.
He had 10 viewers.
Yeah.
10 viewers, and
Well, we got you beat there, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah,
We got 11 viewers.
But comment, subscribe, check out our merchandise, and again, no comment is unwelcome.
No, we love it all. We
Yeah.
know.
And we may make fun of you if you try to make fun of us. So just expect that.
Yeah, we definitely will make fun of you if you make fun of us. But anyway, like Larry said, like and subscribe, pick up some merchandise. I don't know if you know this, but when we go over to our friends Jack and Bettina's, we play Kerplunk. We use These Two Guys playing cards. We got playing cards for you. We got a little bit of everything out
Oh
there.
yeah, yes we do, and it's
All right.
it's there for you. It is stylish, and I'm telling you, it is a conversation starter. So
Yep.
check it out.
I conversate with myself all the time. All right. Hey, thanks for watching.
Yep. Have a good day. Take care.
It's these two guys. These two guys. It's these two guys.